The first time I saw her, she was already on her mat, eyes closed, legs folded neatly in a half-lotus pose. The golden sunlight beamed in through the skylights of the downtown Los Angeles yoga studio, framing her silhouette like a painting. Her name was Rachel Morgan, and I only knew that because the instructor had called it out during roll call. I was new to hot yoga. I had done a few sessions here and there, but nothing consistent. My buddy Chris had convinced me to try it again. It's not just about flexibility, dude. You'll meet people. Chill people, he had said. He wasn't wrong. Rachel opened her eyes just as I was unrolling my mat next to hers. She smiled politely, a soft curve of her lips, and went back to stretching. She had an energy about her, calm, grounded. I felt like a rookie next to her, fumbling with my water bottle and trying not to look like I was dying in the 105 degrees Fahrenheit room. By the end of the class, my shirt was soaked through, my muscles were trembling, and I could barely remember my own name. She, on the other hand, looked like she had just walked out of a spa, glowing, not even out of breath. As everyone filed out, she turned to me and chuckled. "First time. Is it that obvious?" I laughed, trying not to sound too out of breath. "A little. You did great, though. Most people give up halfway." I smiled, relieved by her kindness. "Thanks. I'm Jake, by the way." "Rachel." From that moment, something shifted. Over the next few weeks, Rachel and I saw each other at almost every class. We didn't always talk, but there was always a glance, a smile, a shared stretch here and there. I began pushing myself harder, not just to impress her, but because I felt better. Stronger. Lighter. One Thursday night, after a particularly intense vinyasa session, the instructor let us know she'd be locking up early and we could finish our cool down in the smaller studio if we wanted. Most people just packed up and left. But Rachel lingered. "You up for some extra stretches?" she asked, her tone casual. "Sure," I replied, trying to keep my voice steady despite my racing pulse. We moved into the side studio. It was quieter, dimmer, and had a huge wall mirror. Rachel flicked on a small speaker in her bag, and soft instrumental music filled the space. She dropped into a butterfly stretch effortlessly, and I followed her lead, albeit with less grace. "You're getting more flexible," she said. "Still can't touch my toes, but hey, progress." She laughed and moved into a pigeon pose. I tried to mirror her, but winced slightly. "Need help?" she offered. Before I could answer, she slid beside me and gently pressed on my back, guiding me deeper into the stretch. Her hands were firm but careful, her touch grounding. I could feel the heat radiating between us. Maybe it was the leftover warmth from the yoga room, or maybe it was something else. We locked eyes in the mirror, both of us holding our breath without realizing it. "It's funny," she said softly, "how much tension we carry in our bodies, and never even notice until someone helps us let go." "Yeah," I murmured. "And sometimes it's not just the body, right?" She looked at me for a long beat, then nodded. "Exactly." We moved through stretches in silence, the kind that feels sacred. Our breathing synced, our movements mirrored. At one point, she guided me into a partner stretch, her sitting behind me, hands on my shoulders as I folded forward. I could feel her breath near my ear, steady and close. Every second felt magnified. "You're a good student," she whispered. "And you're a great teacher," I replied, unable to stop the smile. The mood shifted then. Not in a dramatic movie scene way, but in the subtle shift of closeness that doesn't need explanation. Our laughter became softer, our touches more lingering. When she helped me into a seated twist and her hand brushed mine, I didn't pull away. Neither did she. "Jake," she said gently, as if testing the sound of my name. "Yeah." "Do you always stay this late after class?" "Only when I'm with the right person." Rachel looked down and smiled. "Me too." We sat in the center of the room, cross-legged, facing each other. I could hear the faint hum of traffic outside, but inside, the world felt still. "I wasn't expecting this," she admitted. "To meet someone here." "Me neither," I said. "But I'm glad I did. I usually come here to be alone, to clear my head. But with you, it's different. Calmer, somehow." I reached out and gently tucked a loose strand of hair behind her ear. She didn't move away. In fact, she leaned into my hand. You have this presence, she said. Like you're listening, even when you're quiet. Maybe that's because I'm always waiting to hear what you'll say next. We sat like that for what felt like hours. Eventually, Rachel laid back on her mat, staring up at the ceiling. Lie down, she said. Savasana, together. I joined her, our hands brushing as we laid side by side, eyes to the ceiling. I used to think being alone helped me heal, she said. But sometimes, being with someone who understands silence is even more powerful. I'm not in a rush, I said, to label this or push anything. But I like where we are. She turned her head toward me. So do I. We didn't kiss that night. We didn't need to. Everything was already said, in the silence, in the stretch, in the way our breath moved together. The next morning, I got a text from Rachel. Rachel, morning yoga today? The room might not be hot, but maybe you and I can stretch that moment from last night a little longer. I smiled, staring at my phone for a while before typing back. Me, only if you promise to guide me again. One stretch at a time. Rachel, always. From that day on, our routine changed. We still did yoga, still sweated side by side, still stretched after class. But now there were morning smoothies, shared playlists, long walks through the city barefoot after rain, and late-night texts that turned into early morning coffee. One evening, while watching the sunset from her rooftop, she turned to me and said, "You made me feel safe again. Not just in my body, but in my heart. And you made me believe that slowing down doesn't mean falling behind," I replied. We held hands, not needing anything more. Because sometimes, all it takes is one stretch, to open not just your muscles, but your heart.